Miss Wildener, have you seen any of these four people before?
No, ma'am.
Did you notice certain transactions within Mr. Adamson's accounts?
I spoke with Mr. Adamson on several occasions, and he confirmed that the withdrawals were indeed his.
Did you see photos of the person withdrawing the funds?
Well, I showed them to Mr. Adamson and asked why it appeared that some of the people were different.
And what did he say?
Objection. Hearsay.
Sustained. Counselor, please confine your question to the witness's direct observations.
But, Your Honor, Mr. Adamson is dead.
That may be true, madam, but the Constitution is not.
Miss Wildener, can you identify any of these people in these photos in the court here today?
No, I cannot.
May I remind you, you are under oath.
These could be anybody. Their faces are obscured, the bodies are blurred. In fact, several of them could be you.
Me? Surely there's some resemblance to the defendants.
Objection. Your Honor, she's leading the witness.
Sustained.
As I said, there's just not enough in these photographs for me to be able to make an identification, and I don't think anyone could for that matter.
All right, Mrs. Wildener. Did Mr. Adamson seem irrational, perhaps intimidated by someone?
No, he was calm, confident, fully in charge, and he knew about all of the different transactions and reiterated that they were indeed his own financial dealings.
As a fraud investigator, did you find his actions suspicious?
No, it was unusual. It's my duty to protect Mr. Adamson from fraud, and I am very certain that this was not, identity theft or a con game or extortion. Government rules and regulations were not transgressed.
But you certainly knew the photos were not Mr. Adamson.
Yes, but he clearly authorized whoever it was to do whatever they were doing.
Isn't there a bank policy that cardholders not give their card for others to use?
That's a precaution to protect the customer. It's not a law. If a customer wants someone to be able to access their account and withdraw with their knowledge, it's their money.
No more questions for this witness.
So, Paul, right? What was the date of that $3,000 ATM transaction?
If memory serves correctly, that would be June the 15th, 3 p.m. exactly.
Okay, and when did Mr. Kellenson come in to pay off money for his late house payments?
Same day, 3:30.
Now, may it please the court that I'm entering Exhibit 16, a photo of the person that's making the withdrawal.
Yes, but might I remind you that it's very similar to the other 15 that you've already entered into evidence.
Your Honor, I'm just simply trying to make a pattern here.
Please continue, but let's cut to the chase, shall we?
Okay. In your experience, is it normal for customers to come in and pay off large debts in cash?
Absolutely not.
And did you have any reason to believe that Mr. Kellenson was holding a large sum of cash on him?
No. He was seen to be completely broke at the time. As a matter of fact, only 25 minutes earlier, he was begging me for an extension.
Now, do you have any camera surveillance of the bank premises?
We do.
Entering into evidence, People's Exhibit 17, a photo still taken from the bank parking lot. Mr. Teller, can you identify the people in that photo for me?
Yes, this is Joe. Mr. Kellenson leaving the bank, and this gentleman back here is the one who made the withdrawal.
Does this photo resemble the security camera shot?
As a matter of fact, it does. It has a very similar likeness to this gentleman right here.
Now let the record show that the witness pointed to defendant number 3, Charles Adamson, That's all I have for this witness.
Defense, your witness.
Mr. Taylor, did any robbery happen in the bank that day?
No.
Did Mr. Kellingson do anything wrong by paying his mortgage?
No.
Is the bank required to verify where a customer obtained funds from?
No.
In fact, did the bank end up the beneficiary in this situation or the loser?
Objection. Calls for conclusion.
Sustained.
Let me rephrase. Did the bank lose money from Mr. Kellingson's payment?
No, not really. But if this guy was doing something illegal with his card, that's just not right.
Are you saying the bank is at fault for not checking IDs before letting people use the ATM?
No.
Mr. Taylor, I'm confused. I haven't heard you describe anything that seems to be criminal.
Well, it looks suspicious, so I called the head office and asked them to check it out.
And what did they tell you?
That it was approved by the customer.
Oh, so you had knowledge that both Mr. Kellingson and Defendant 3 were innocent, didn't you?
Well, I guess so, but all this stuff came up about this Good Samaritan and, well, it reminded me of the situation, so I called the FBI.
So you called them despite having information showing these people to be innocent?
Well, they asked me for information leading to the identification of those doing the cashing.
And you, being a good citizen, wanted to help?
Objection, leading the witness.
Sustained.
Well, why did you call?
Well, I thought it might be important, national security and all that.
National security?
Well, I mean, they said that it could be money laundering, drug money, or terrorism.
I have a transcript of your initial call to the FBI. Would you read this section here, highlighted in yellow?
It might be money laundering, drug money, or terrorism.
And who was that person speaking?
Me.
Beg your pardon?
Me.
So the FBI investigation was the result of your comment, not the other way around.
Well, I mean, that wasn't my intention. I was just trying to be a good citizen.
No further questions.